I found an old clock in my basement that counted down to the exact moment everything changed. When I moved into the old farmhouse, the basement was a maze of forgotten relics. Among the dusty furniture and cobweb-covered boxes, I discovered an antique wall clock with an unusual feature, a countdown timer. It had no hands or numbers, just a digital display ticking down from an unknown time. Curiosity got the better of me, so I took the clock upstairs and hung it in my living room. It began at 24 hours. I tried to ignore it, but the clock was eerily accurate. Every second seemed to tick louder, and the time decreased steadily. That evening, as the countdown neared zero, strange things started happening. The lights flickered, and I heard unsettling noises, whispers, and faint footsteps echoing through the empty rooms. I brushed it off as nerves, attributing the odd occurrences to the house settling. But as the clock approached the final hour, the atmosphere grew more oppressive. Shadows seemed to move on their own, and the temperature in the house dropped dramatically. I decided to investigate the origins of the clock, searching for any information on its history or purpose. But every lead I found was dead end, leaving me more anxious as the timer ticked down. With only minutes remaining, I felt an intense sense of dread. The whispers became more insistent, and the house was filled with a cold, unnatural silence. I set up my phone to record, capturing the final moments before the clock reached zero. As the countdown reached its last 10 seconds, the lights went out completely. In the darkness, I saw strange shapes moving around me. The clock's digital display was the only source of light, casting an eerie glow on the walls. When the clock hit zero, a blinding flash filled the room and the temperature spiked. The entire house shook violently, and I was thrown to the floor. The whispers became screams, a cacophony of voices that seemed to come from all directions. As the flash faded, I looked around in horror. The room was intact, but everything felt different. The house was unnervingly quiet, and the once ordinary objects in the room now seemed out of place, as if they belonged to a different era. I quickly grabbed the clock and tried to remove the batteries, but the display flickered and died. The timer had reset, counting up from zero. Desperate, I tried to leave the house, but the front door was jammed tight. After hours of frantic attempts, I finally managed to force the door open and fled into the night. I never went back to the farmhouse. The clock was left behind, and I moved away, hoping to escape the lingering feeling of dread. To this day, I can't shake the feeling that the countdown clock changed something fundamental. Sometimes, in the dead of night, I hear whispers in the dark, reminding me of that night when time itself seemed to betray reality.